Well, hello there, and this is Auntie, and I am here to do a quick review of Sister Wives Season 19, Episode 22. Love Covers All Wounds. Let's get into it, y'all, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall. Okay, let's try it again.
Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for It's time for
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. I am sitting up here doing my nails. So unprofessional. Y'all, I looked at this episode and I looked at the one that they had last week on the Sister Wives. I don't even remember if I covered it. I don't believe that I did. I've got to play catch up. I absolutely have to play catch up. But y'all, this is it is information we kind of already know, right? And it's giving us the details. I want to say it's boring, but then there are like little bit of, just a little bit of pieces that we can glean from it. I apologize for being late. I couldn't get my StreamYard to work. So thank you all so much for your patience. Raydella, thank you for always being here and being on time and supporting the chat. I really do appreciate all of your diligence and your commitment to me and this channel. I just wanted to stop and make sure that I said that. Um so anyway, having said that, let me get into do what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay. So we see Mary and Janelle meeting at Coyote Pass. I had to write down some little notes, y'all. We see them meeting at Coyote Pass. And the reason why they're meeting is because they are at a standstill, if you will, as it relates to the sale of Coyote Pass. And so Janelle is doing this on the strength of she has moved to and bought property in North Carolina. We saw that last episode. We saw them go down to the property. She said that her daughter, I believe it's McKelty. I'm not sure. No, it's Madison. But she had brought this property and she said that she was the only one that saw the property. And so she went down to see the property with her husband and we know that David and Christine helped her move down there. And so, Janelle is trying to start another pass, but she said that that land is holding her to Cody and to all of the things that, she is ready to be over and done with, right? And so, we saw that last week. I thought that was so fucking boring. Y'all let me know if y'all thought that was a boring episode. But anyway, so the two of them meet. Now, as we all know, Mary and Janelle don't have the best relationship. I think that throughout all the wives, I'm sorry, y'all. I think that through all the wives, they have had the most tumultuous relationship, right? Because Janelle was, the first wife. She was the first one, coming into the relationship with Cody. And Mary was and has been it has been said that Mary was very rude to her and the children. We kind of saw a little bit of it in the early days when they were all living in that one house in Utah. Just the possessiveness. I was told that, the kids couldn't run through Mary's portion of the house, just a lot of stuff going on. And then they ended up bringing Christine in, and then, of course, the infamous Robin. And so, I think that if hard feelings and stuff like that, um, are any, hmm, let me say, if hard feelings run deep, I think that theirs run deeper than anybody else's in this whole franchise, in this whole relationship, in this whole thing that we've been going through and looking at, called Sister Wives. So Janelle and Mary, um okay, wait a minute. In a previous episode, we all know that Janelle tried to talk to Mary about the division of the land, was suggesting to her or advising her that she believed that she needed to get an attorney. And Mary went back and ran and told Cody and Robin about it, felt like she could not trust Janelle, and everything. And so, Mary has lost time. So they talk about, the land being separated, right? And the way that the lots were signed. They said that when Cody went in and signed, they should have paid more attention to, what was happening with the division of the property. Mary is only on, I believe it was 4 acres at the time. And Janelle is on 2 lots. So Mary's only on one, Janelle is on two. And Janelle is, basically saying, Mary, I really believe, you put in, you sacrificed and everything, and that you really need to fight for this. So Mary is up for the fight, to fight for the land. She says that she has an attorney, but she doesn't really want to use the attorney for this. And then, of course, they flash over to Cody saying that, Mary, I'm not trying to steal from you, but they're not able to get any information from him. They have just ran up against a brick wall when it comes down to Cody. So the ladies now have to do what they want to do. So I'm just like, okay. And so Mary said that, in the past, she had asked Cody about some things and she got in trouble for doing it. And so Janelle had her own horror story about it too, when they had purchased Robin's land, or purchased Robin's house. And she said, hey, we need to all sign off on this. And Cody was like, no, I think that Robin needs to have her own estate. And so they're beating themselves up now because all of the things that we saw back in the day, right? They're finally seeing. And I guess, sometimes it's hard to see when you're living in the house, and it's easier to see things when you're looking through the window. And for the last 19 seasons, we've had an opportunity to look through the window at these dumb, okay? And so, Janelle was talking about Robin, and she was saying that, she basically said, Cody, take your little diesel wife and go on about your business. I just, we have already, I think that I did a video maybe a couple of months ago that this has already been litigated and that they've already gone to court, and that Janelle and Mary were able to win. And not only win, but Mary won big because Mary's name was evenly divided across the properties and stuff like that. They were like, we're not going to lay down and allow Cody and Robin to just take whatever they want to take. It doesn't belong to you. And we're going to, fight you tooth and nail for the property. Cody says that the reason why he did not want to sell Coyote Pass was because Robin wasn't ready to, make a decision on it, and wasn't um ready to sell. And so he wasn't going to allow the other wives to basically bully him and Robin into doing anything with Coyote Pass. Oh my goodness. Barbara Markham, one of my faithful members, said, I Googled it yesterday. The film we see on Sister Wives is 22 months behind real time. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So later on we see Aspen and McKelty come over to see Christine, and it's Valentine's Day, and Christine asks, what they asked Aspen what she gonna do, and McKelty was like, she gonna have sex. And so Christine did not hear a lot of it. Christine, of course, is on her it's Valentine's Day, and Christine is on her first Valentine's Day as a married woman with David. And so, of course, she's happy the girls go upstairs with her. She tries on some outfits for them. She puts on this burgundy dress, and they're like, they like it, and all of that kind of stuff, right? And so they had Truly in there with them, but Truly is just like, not like that. I don't know whether or not Truly is going to follow in the steps of some of her sisters, but I have a feeling that Truly is. Okay. When I saw Truly, the more that I see Truly, the more I think that she's going to be like some of her other sisters. And that's not, right, wrong, or anything like that. That's just an observation that I have observed, that I think that Truly is probably going to end up, y'all know what I mean, live your best life, Truly, right? Live your best life. And so they were talking about, when it was Valentine's Day, they had flashback on that infamous show, the infamous one where we saw Cody come in with flowers for all of the women. And so they started talking about intimacy in the relationship. And Robin was saying that she thought that they should have been intimate and showing intimacy and stuff like that in the relationship. But when she came on board, they had said that this was something that they don't do. And listening to the other wives, it was either or. Some of them was like, I agree with the intimacy, and some of them didn't, right? But at the end of the day, they all are feeling some kind of way. They were all feeling some kind of way because Robin and Cody did show intimacy. And Cody said that, at one point he was showing intimacy to Mary, I think it was. And he said that Janelle's mother was like, you don't do that, right? And so he said, as a result of that, he stopped. But honey, when he got with Robin, we absolutely saw intimacy and, stolen kisses and stolen rubs and bumps and stuff like that. Y'all know that's what we saw. Um Janelle was also talking about on downtown on the land that she has, a lot of property. She was seeing the property taxes, and that they want to be able to pull the stuff on that. I'm just like, for what, Janelle? I mean, just do what you got to do, and but the whoop whoop it whoop whoop whoop. So Cody, when they was talking about the house, let me go back to this point that I had noted earlier today. Cody said that Robin's money from the house paid the dad, and I'm like, what dad? And didn't a lot of them pay the debt? It's just amazing to me how he will make concessions for Robin that he does not make for all of the other wives. Cody says that the only assets that he has are Robin's, the things that Robin owns. So Cody, the paintings in the house, the jewelry, all of those things are not assets. Clearly they are. They're all assets, including the necklace the bracelet or the necklace that he gave her on Valentine's Day. Who's kidding who? Didn't they just move into a new home? Cody is, right when he tells the truth. Okay. Cody is going to give you four lies and the truth, in my opinion. Because I want to give the man credit, right? Because this episode, he admitted that all of that, I don't love you, I didn't love them, was a lie. I want to give him credit for that, but when he says little lies like this, the only assets that he had belonged to Robin. Robin didn't have the income or the wherewithal to buy anything. Everything that Robin obtained in her life, both Robin and Cody, in my opinion, have been on the back of Christine, Mary, and Janelle. As we all know, when we met Janelle, Janelle was a working mom. She would go out of the house. I don't think that Janelle had that, that kind of motherly type of instinct or anything like that, right? I don't think that that was ever in her. I think that it was very comfortable for her to leave her kids home with Mary and with Christine. And frankly, if I was, living in a house with 18 some plus kids, well, it wasn't that way when Janelle first got there, but I think that I probably would have wanted to be out of the house too. I'm not as domesticated as a lot of women are. I do like my little, things, my feminine things and stuff. Now I'm feminine, but I would rather work out in the streets, right? I'd rather be for the streets than in the sheets. Okay, okay, all right. So, Cody says that he has not communicated because he doesn't know what to do. Cody is not rushing Robin for the sake of Mary and Janelle. Um, he said that Janelle feels like because she got divorced, she deserves something. Where's the lie? Did it fly by me? Is the lie back there somewhere under the piano in the back of me? What about that door? How about that laundry room or kitchen that's sitting on the right hand side? Of course she deserves something. They all invested in this. And it's amazing how Cody doesn't realize that these women invested in this life for over 20, 30 years, right? I guess. Why doesn't she deserve to walk away with something? But Cody is saying she don't deserve to walk away with anything. He's so wishy-washy. He had a Valentine's Day dinner with Robin and he had a gift, and Robin was acting so surprised that she had this gift. As if Cody does not buy her jewelry and gifts and trinkets and homes and cars and trucks and baptizes her daughter. Let me tell you, last week I didn't look at one part of that baptism. For what? I'm not involved in Robin's kids. I just could care two shits about them. Is that wrong of me as an older woman? Probably so, right? Because it comes off, and I'm sure it sounds a little ignorant. But honey, I don't give a rat's behind about them kids. I refuse to watch that. And the little boy Solomon looked like something wrong with him. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead on before y'all start throwing tomatoes at me. Um Cody said that Mary was clingy in the beginning. So that means that Mary was very affectionate. Um he said Janelle's okay, I talked about that. So Janelle, when she was having a conversation with Mary, down at Coyote Pass, um, had asked Mary about the spiritual divorce that she had, right? Because she had, for the sake of Robin, we know that she had earlier on, I think around season 7, 8, something like that, six, around about season 7, 8, or 9. Mary had made a decision to divorce, legally divorce Cody to give Robin the right to marry Cody in order for him to adopt her children. But after this, all of this stuff that happened with Christine and everybody leaving, Mary decided to get a spiritual divorce from the church. She said at first Cody was with it, but I guess when he found out what they had to say about his ass, he wasn't. And so Janelle, who we have heard say over the past couple of seasons, indicating that she doesn't need this divorce from Cody, is now asking Mary, Mary, do you think that I should do that? How did you feel about it? And so I think that Janelle is probably going to eventually consider, right? Because Janelle's like, okay, so if I do want to date, right? If I do want to date, I don't see Janelle dating. I see Janelle being down at the farm. I see her being a slutty vegan. I see her, letting a couple of men come up in there, occasionally and stuff, until all of her land. But I don't see, I don't see her ever getting married again. That's just my assessment of it. Y'all let me know what y'all assessment is downtown in the chat. But I just see her being like a little slutty vegan. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Mhm. But anyway, Cody says that he believes that marriage is a cult. I think the way that y'all may be doing it is a cult, but I think that marriage is a union that is honored by God. I don't know if I've ever heard any religion saying that marriage wasn't something that was ordained by God or by whomever you serve. But, I'll stand down and I'll digress. Anyway, y'all, that is, basically what I had to say about it. If you all have any questions downtown in the chat or anything that you all want me to talk about, put it down there real quick. Because I don't want to hold y'all long for this. Like I said, I felt like it was a filler episode. Let's see what y'all comments. So Tanya said, if I was married, I would never give up my first wife. I would never give up my first wife HBIC status. Well, it's too late for that, okay? She already did it. I think that she had a whole lot of pressure from Cody to do it too. I think that this was Mary had talked about earlier, Tanya, about these different goals or these different things that Cody had put out there, right? That she had to achieve, different milestones and all that old bull. And I think that that was one of them, was if she really loved him and really loved Robin and the kids and the family, that she would give up her right as a wife and give it over to Robin for those children. Okay. Um, um, I feel it for sure. I always shocked how the karma that is time is treating Robin. Okay. Any questions in the chat? So you know what, that was one of the things that I wanted to discuss too, was that Cody had indicated that he had met with his girls, and that one of them had asked him, I can't remember if it was Aspen, was like, why do you hate me? And he was like, I didn't. He always feels like the mothers fed into the kids, right? That they manipulated the kids and fed the kids with a whole bunch of negative stuff about Cody. I think that the children had grown old enough to see what was going on with their father. They were no longer under an illusion of who Cody was, but I think that they got an opportunity to really see who. It was Aspen. Okay, thank you so much, Randy. She said Janelle has seen Cody treat her children and the other kids' wives horribly. Why not get the spiritual divorce, especially the passing of her son? Absolutely. You said, I agree, they played Mary because she was the easiest to play. And she is one of those type of people who is desperate to please. She loves to please people. I think that that's where Mary was. And I think that that's why Mary is the way that she is now, because anyway. So I'm going to get out of here, you all. Thank you all so much for being here. I love you all so much. And until we meet again, Y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.